Bone is a story of three misfit cousins who get run out of their hometown of Boneville. The three cousins are Phone Bone, who's sort of like the main character. He's the good guy. And then the troublemaker is Phony Bone, and he's very self-absorbed and whiny and greedy. And the third cousin is a very happy-go-lucky character named Smiley Bone, who just really doesn't take anything too seriously. Even though Bone kind of came from an idea I had as a 9-year-old, it was never really intended by me to be for children. It was children and their parents that found it and claimed it for themselves. I knew in my head that each comic book would be a chapter of the final thing, but I couldn't really let anybody know that, because if I told the comic book community and the readers, this is going to be like a big Lord of the Rings story, I don't think anybody would have bought it. So I had to make sure that each issue stood on its own and was entertaining on its own and was familiar. The newest book, Bone, Old Man's Cave, is the 6th installment in the Bone series. Old Man's Cave is prominent throughout the entire Bone series. It's where the setting of the story takes place. As I was growing up, I would go visit Old Man's Cave, from the time I was very young to when I was in college, and even now I still go down there. And it always really got my imagination going. It's a very old place. All right, here we are in Old Man's Cave. This is the setting for most of the Bone books. And if you look around, you'll recognize all sorts of trees that I've put in, trees with sticks sticking out or growing out of rocks. Once you see Old Man's Cave and then you read Bone, you'll see that's where I got big giant blocks of stone that are just lying in between the tree trunks and stuff. This particular book is called Old Man's Cave because the climax of the story actually takes place right there. And I drew Old Man's Cave pretty much verbatim into the comics. I knew from the beginning that it would be a graphic novel, although we didn't have that name then. It took me 12 years to write and draw the entire Bone story. But it's only going to take 2 or 3 years for Scholastic to put it all out, fortunately. In 2005, Scholastic called us and said, we want to start a graphic novel imprint. We would like to launch it with Bone. And also at the time, they had another artist consulting on this graphic novel imprint. His name was Art Spiegelman, and he did probably one of the first and most important graphic novels called Mouse. Art Spiegelman's suggestion was to do it in color. Now, I had always seen Bone as like a newspaper comic strip, so I thought of it as black and white. But Art really was insistent. Bone should be in color. And I said, but Art, your book's in black and white. Why would Bone be in color? And his answer was, well, Mouse is the story of the Holocaust. It's about war. It should be in black and white. He said, but Bone is about life, and it won't be finished until it's in color.